Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon and welcome to everyone from Stonebroom Primary, a nursery school, and particularly to Miss Phipps and all of the class who've been reading The Boy Who Bite the World. I think you are year 4. Thank you very much indeed for reading my book. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry, how rude. I am Alistair Humphreys. I am the author of the book The Boy Who Bite the World and lots of other books about adventures. I myself went cycling all the way around the world, and then I decided to write a book about it for children. And I thought, rather than you having to read the stories of a boring old man having his adventure, I should turn my experiences into those of a boy, a child, Tom, who biked the world. I've done the same sort of thing, if you've enjoyed that, with rowing across the Atlantic Ocean, which I did. And then I turned those stories into a book called The Girl Who Rode the Ocean. Here we go. We have some questions. 10 questions. Oliver says, what inspired you to go around the world? Excellent question. What inspired me to go around the world, Oliver, was reading books. You see, I've in my shed here. This is where I write my books. And I used to love, and I still do, love reading stories of adventure. In fact, I wrote a book once called Great Adventurers, which is, I enjoy doing this because it was all about the 20 explorers who had inspired me to go on and have adventures. So it was reading books of adventures that persuaded me to go and see the world and try my own adventures. Question, Lizzie and Archie, how long did it take you and how long did it take to bike through South America? It took me 4 years to cycle around the world. It took me roughly 1 year to cycle down Africa, roughly 1 year and a half to cycle up South America, North America, and then a year and a half or something to cycle across Asia. So South America was roughly a year. Layla says, was I exhausted during the South America part? Oh, Layla, I was exhausted in lots of parts. I'm not really a professional bike rider, so I quite often got tired. South America is tiring because it's very big. In the mountain areas where I was going, the roads were really bad. So they were rocky and bumpy. Down in the very south of the continent, right down at the bottom, down here near the bottom of the world, Patagonia, and it's ridiculously windy down there. And then I rode through the Andes Mountains, which are huge and also exhausting. Ava says, or Eva? I'm going to guess Ava. What was your favorite place? Well, I think my favorite place in South America was probably, well, it's really hard because Patagonia in Chile, beautiful, but I also really loved the North Mountains in Argentina and Bolivia and Peru, and a fantastic place called Uyuni, a huge salt lake. If you Google Uyuni, which is Uyuni, a beautiful empty salt plain. That was one of my favorite places. Alexis and Jason says, what was your favorite food in South America? Was it the guinea pigs? Well, yeah, if you've got a pet guinea pig, I do apologize for eating a guinea pig. Hopefully it was not your pet guinea pig that I ate, but they were quite delicious, barbecued with chips. Comes a plate like this. I really enjoyed in Colombia, up near the top of South America, up here, it's quite tropical. They have beautiful, beautiful fruit juices, all sorts of weird, wild, tropical fruits that I've never seen in Tesco in England. So I really loved all of Colombia, actually, but their fruit juices were very nice. Max wants to know what was my least favorite food. Whew. Well, being a cyclist, you get quite hungry and a bit greedy. So I tended to like most foods, but I guess one of the problems of foods is what you're used to eating. So, for example, some parts of the world might eat dog. For me, eating dog, I didn't enjoy that. That felt weird to me. Quite often people ask me, what does dog taste like? And it's an interesting question. The best way I can explain it, what does dog taste like? It tastes quite similar to cat. Macy and Keelan ask, what were your best parts and what were your least favorite parts of the journey through South America? I think the best part of all my adventures are always the wild, empty, beautiful landscapes and also the opposite of that, which is the times when I'm surrounded by humans, and then you meet all the good, kind, interesting people in lots of different countries. So I really enjoyed the kind, generous welcome of families who invited me to stay in their houses in South America. The least favorite part of South America was definitely the wind in Patagonia, which was so strong. It would blow like an absolute gale. Sometimes I couldn't ride my bike. I just have to walk and push the bike. It was so tiring. One day it was so windy, I couldn't even walk, and I just had to lie in a ditch by the road and wait till the wind went away. Oh, that was a bad day. I also got lots and lots of punctures in the Andes mountains. I got 15 in one day. That was one of my least favorite days of all. Harley asks a similar question. Oscar says, why did you choose to mainly live off banana sandwiches? Well, in the book, Tom eats a crazy number of banana sandwiches. That's true. When I was cycling around the world, I also ate lots of banana sandwiches, but not quite as many as Tom. What I really ate was just always the food that was cheapest in different places because I didn't have much money. And banana sandwiches are really good because they are cheap. They are pretty healthy. You can get them all over the place. Bananas and bread is easy to buy. In some parts of the world, where maybe you worry about if you eat foods, it might make you ill. Bananas are completely safe for that. They're wrapped in their own nice, clean wrapping, and they're tasty and they're good energy. So lots of advantages for the banana sandwich. You should try one yourself at home. These days, I like to make toast, slice up bananas on it, and then put almond butter on it or peanut butter on. Oh, really nice. Sorry, other way around. Almond butter, peanut butter, then bananas on top. Are you planning any other trips? And if so, how would you travel this time? So since I've biked around the world, I've done lots of different trips. I went in a rowing boat across the Atlantic. I walked across a big desert called the Empty Quarter. You can watch that on YouTube. It's called Into the Empty Quarter. I once walked for a month through Spain with no money at all and only the violin to play in the street to try and earn money. But I'm really bad at the violin, so that was quite a scary adventure. You can watch that on YouTube. It's called My Midsummer Morning. But what I've been doing much more recently is just trying to explore locally to find adventures and wildness and nature really close to home. You know, within 2 miles of where you live, I bet there is a footpath you've never been down, or a hill you haven't climbed, or a tree you haven't climbed. And if you go down those new places, then you're being an explorer. You don't need to go all the way around the world to have an adventure. So that's what I've been doing recently, is just trying to encourage people to find nature and wildness close to home. And of course, one day I need to go have an adventure in Australia. Still haven't done an adventure there. So thank you, Koala Class, for your fantastic questions. I hope you enjoyed reading my book. And most importantly, I hope it's given you lots of adventures, ideas, plans, dreams, so that you too can go have your own adventures. Thanks so much for reading my book. Thank you for sending me your questions, and good luck with your own adventures.